What's up, trappers? Last couple days we were rained out. We actually got some snow and we're snowed out. I've still been recuperating a bit. I still am not 100%, but I'm right there. I'm out here a bit. I came home from work today and I crashed out. I had to get some rest, but I'm up and at 'em for a little bit, and I was just, my gears were grinding. I was thinking about how I'm gonna fit all 4 of these amps back here, and possibly even the 5th amp that I want to get with the built-in DSP. It's a 4-channel RZR. It looks just like these. I think it's like, I forget, like 2,000 watts or something, 3,000 watts, whatever it is. But it's a 4-channel, and it has a built-in DSP, which is digital signal processor, and it Bluetooths right to my phone. So I can make all the adjustments for the highs and the mids right there, and have a completely separate out for all the subwoofers. And I can adjust the crossover and all that sort of thing in the phase from the head unit, which would be pretty nice. It'll clear the high ends up quite a bit, make those sound real nice. I'd be able to get the EQ right where I want them for my speakers, be able to get the frequencies that the speakers don't respond to filtered out, which creates distortion. So if I can get rid of the distortion, that alone cleans it up, clears it up, and will allow me to turn the gain up higher on the amps, which will then give the speakers more power. The gain's not really like a volume knob, guys, so don't think just because you crank your gain up that it's better. It's not really. But really, you want to match your signal from your input to your output. So it's a whole lesson, guys. Just believe me, you want to match your signal, and there's a few ways to do that. One's a multimeter, you can do it that way. Another one's an oscilloscope or a combination of the two. A lot of times I'll do it by ear, but that's not always the best. It's better to run the multimeter, I think, and get a real good idea. If you want to be really, really detailed for competition, or you want really, really clear audio, if it's that important to you, then the oscilloscope is nice because you can see where your sound wave starts to clip to where it is not producing a full wave. But that's a whole nother lesson, guys. I don't want to get into a whole bunch of that. I could talk forever about all that sort. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But I'm sitting here plotting and looking, and usually I'm more of like a guesstimation guy. I'm not one for always getting exact measurements. So to me, a lot of times, especially if you're trying to explain something to somebody who's not good with numbers, which oftentimes I find that a lot of people aren't so good with numbers or mathematics, so I try to spare them that bit. But I'm more of a guesstimation type guy, but once in a while you just really need to get an accurate measurement of what you're looking at. So I'm going to get you flipped around here, guys, and explain a little bit of what we're looking at, just kind of what I'm thinking, what I'm plotting on. I'm definitely running out of space back here, so I need to figure it out, get it arranged, and then never mess with it again. Just leave it that way and let it always be. But I'm definitely running out of space back here, guys, so I'm gonna need to be smart about my arrangements as far as just the audio goes, with the way the speakers are gonna set everything. But that's going to dictate how it sounds too, and how it carries. So all that stuff will need to go into consideration in my final efforts. But this is just kind of giving me ideas and information of what I'm looking at. So when my gears are turning and I'm sitting idle and it looks like I'm dazing off into nowhere, I've got these images and these pictures in my head, and I'm just piecing everything together, so to speak. But I'll arrange it all in my head first, and that'll give me a really good idea of what I'm looking at. Once I get out here and I have it arranged like that, I'll get it fitted and see where that is, and just one step at a time. So I just figure things out on the fly. A lot of times I don't have like specific detailed plans. I'd be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I go do it. But as far as going to do it is figuring out piece by piece sometimes. So this is one of the pieces that we're gonna check out here in the stereo. I'm telling you guys, it's early in the year. I'm sorry about these ugly hoods, but I am cold. I'm freezing, and it's one of the first times I've actually really been cold in a minute, because I've been sick, because I've been on fire, I've been hot. So it's a little nice to have some cool, brisk air to breathe. That's That's awesome to be able to inhale. Ooh, it's still a little tender, but I'm okay. Like, that's not too bad compared to what it was. I was in some pain there for a minute, guys, in my back and my upper abdomen, lower front, whatever it is here. But anyway, without further ado, guys, you don't want to hear any more of that. Let's look at this and see what I'm plotting on. Ooh, there you go, guys. You get an opportunity to see the capacitors lit up. They're both the same. I just have the sticker peeled off the one. This is what the overall kind of looks like, guys. That's the battery back there. I just have some do-rag material draped over it, mostly just to cover it up so it's not just an ugly, unsightly battery. I was at Walmart on a whim, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'll pick some of that up. So I just kind of draped it over there. That's just hiding the battery, the ugly black battery. It's the caps, the wires. I got 3 amps going across here, guys, and this pretty much, it fills it up. See, like, I have this ledge here where these are actually secured onto here, and they fit really nicely, the 2 of them here, on this double-sided seat. But you look over here, this is what I was working on last winter when I just said to hell with it and just kind of dropped everything and went in for the winter. Let's go over here and look. I'm going to take this tape measure with me. We're going to have, just in case I need it over there. There's the amp and the more bag of some goodies. Let's go over here. As you can see, like, this really isn't even secured down in here, so it's just sitting. But those 3 amps take up this whole back, and it doesn't leave any room for much of anything else, really. And until I take an exact measurement of this box and get a measurement of the amount of room I have inside here, I won't know necessarily if these boxes will be able to sit like this. Let's go back here. Okay, back here, I really don't know if these will be able to sit like this for very long. I know it's so dark down there, guys, damn it. I need to get this dome light installed back here. This is a different kind, and I took it out because it's just white, and then the other ones will change, and I still have this white one on. So we're gonna remedy that problem because I couldn't find, it's like a tube, but it looks like a fuse. I couldn't actually find that on the shelf anywhere, and I didn't really feel like ordering a $5 light. It cost me $3 in shipping, you know, so I have something else lined up. It's the same ones as the ones up front. They'll work on the same remote. We're just going to make that work back here, and we're going to get a light back. But I'm sorry this is so dark, guys. But anyway, these speakers down here, you can kind of see the rims on. They're facing each other, and this port's here. And what I had in mind was both boxes this size with the Power Acoustik subs, both in here, facing each other. But I was thinking I wanted to run them this way instead of the way they are. So I need to get some measurements, see what kind of room I have here. I want to add another, this battery will probably need replaced. I want to test it. I'm not really comfortable running the battery again another year unless it really tests real good for some reason. But I know it's taking a pounding, so it may not test that well for me. But I want to get 2 batteries back here, and these caps, I want 2 more, but I want to wire all 4 of them in series. So that would be a project. I want to put these in a series to stabilize the voltage. So even if there is a strong voltage draw, I'm not going to experience the droop, so my lights don't dim and things like that. A lot of people think, oh, these capacitors will help you and this and that. The microfarad inside these things really depends on the quality of farad, which is the material that's in these. They don't actually really hold a charge like a battery would, but there is electric inside here. Pretty much from each one to each one, they hold a consistency as far as voltage. To see they'll stabilize. I'm going to run the 4 of these in series. It does seem a bit excessive, I know. See, there's the one light went out. There's no change. I know it does seem a bit excessive. It's definitely going to help sustain the electrical system overall. I know in computers, by the processor, the microprocessor, they will use a series of capacitors, so that way the processor doesn't experience what they call V droop, or voltage droop is the exact same thing. What they can do is corrupt data. I mean, there's a whole list of things, but it helps to stabilize the electric going into something, so it's a standard, it's non-fluctuating, and that was kind of the point here. So that way when the bass hits, it's going to hit good and solid every time. It's going to have plenty of power to these amps. So that's kind of the point. So I may not actually be able to run 4 of these. I may not have the room unless I can figure out a real nice way to set them. But the way they're arranged now, and the way this is all arranged now, is not going to work really for what I have planned. So it's definitely going to need to change, and how, I'm not absolutely certain of yet. But I know I haven't done a lot of hands-on and actually in it with you guys lately, so to speak, because I've been sick. But I want to make sure that I get you guys in here, show you what I'm plotting on, and when the actual work comes together, I'm going to set the camera up, put it on the tripod. You guys can watch me work. We may put it on a time lapse or something like that. So we'll get that so you can actually see what's going on. Maybe I'll explain in better detail exactly what I'm doing. But that's what we're looking at, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, is just get a measurement and a good fit. I want it to look good back here. I want it to be clean. There's a lot of amps. You can see a lot of wires still, but there's a lot going on back here. When these seats are up, it's all hidden. When it comes down, people are like, oh yeah, you know, you see the wires, but as long as they're tucked away pretty nice, it doesn't look too bad, I guess. It's not like I got a lot of fiberglass work and things like that where I can tuck and hide that stuff away inside here, or custom fitted boxes and all that stuff. I'm working with just, you know, stuff off the shelf and fitting it in as we go. I suppose you can do all that stuff. It's real expensive, and I'm not really sure if it helps a lot. It is kind of nice, I'll give it that. The fiberglass, I will say, especially after it's painted and clear coated, when your bass hits and you start beating the fiberglass, and as it flexes, and it's going to, especially over time, your clear coat's going to crack, and when it does, your paint's going to go with it. So that's something to keep in mind when you think about fiberglass panels and, you know, all that stuff. How's it going to hold up, and how often are you going to want to pay to have it maintained, you know, have it clear coated or repainted and things like that. I suppose if you're balling like that, hell with it, why not, I guess. But I don't really have the loot to drop, not like that. So this is what I got going on, guys. That's what I'm plotting on. I wanted to bring you in here and show you. I really don't know what I'm going to do with these amps. I kind of keep looking here, but I was thinking about maybe building an amp rack, but like I said, I won't really know until I get some measurements. I need to measure this box. I need to measure these amps, these capacitors, and I don't know how much good it's going to do me to really measure that battery, because the battery I replace it with could differ in size by quite a bit, so it could throw everything off just in batteries, and I don't want to be stuck with a certain size battery, because then, you know, I'm kind of restrained to one thing, and I don't really want to have the restraint. So that's what I'm plotting on, guys. If you have any ideas, let me know. But these subs may all have to face up. They may not be able to face each other like I'd like them to. And I've had these subwoofers face up, and believe me, my poor headliner and my roof takes a beating. From 2 blocks away, you can hear that roof ping. When the bass hits it, all you hear is the metal flex, and you can seriously hear it from a block or block and a half, 2 blocks away. It's ridiculous, and it beats the hell out of that roof. So the roof, if I do that, is definitely going to need some insulation. Oh, you can see the little tweeters I got installed. I did that last night, guys. It was just kind of on a quick whim. I didn't really get the camera in there. It's not that complicated. I just ran some wire down this pillar through here and across there. I did the same with the one back here, wherever the hell it is. There it is. And I ran it down and across here. The one back there, come down the pillar, down this way, over to that amp. And that one came up and over to the amp, the blue amp that's below the seat. And it's just tethered right in with the other connections. And they are loud as hell. They scream. They sound real nice. That was a nice addition to the audio in here. It perks my highs up a little bit. You definitely hear that a lot better, and helps keep up with all this bass, because when this is hitting and it's bumping hard, it makes me like smile, like the Grinch when he steals Christmas. It really does. But it will literally drown out the highs. Like, you almost really can't hear them sometimes because it hit so hard. So having those little speakers in there really makes the highs chirp. They're on the amp. They have the built-in crossover, so I don't have to worry about blowing them. Well, as far as running bass to them, generally if they don't have a crossover, if you have a little tweeter like this and it doesn't have the crossover in it to cut out the bass notes and the lower frequencies, and you run power to that, you're gonna blow the hell out of that little speaker, I promise. If it has the built-in crossover, you can run quite a bit of power to some of them sometimes. Like that says it's 200 watts. I kind of really not believe in this 200 watts. If I shot 200 watts to an RMS, that thing would probably go up in smoke. But maybe not. I'm not really sure. I'd have to really test it to see. But they're cheap. They're like 10 bucks a set. So that's a little $20 upgrade. Not too bad. Not too bad. And you see my wire hanging. See, that's what I get for being in a hurry, guys. I need to get that squared away and get that wire tucked out of there. I'm not going to have that. That looks like, I don't know. It just, not what I want. This wire, not looking good right here. So we'll probably relocate those, maybe do something with them. I like to just countersink them, put a damn hole in the headrest and just sink them right in. So all you see is the grill. That'd be the best. Maybe I should plot on that, but I don't really like messing with my headliner so much. It's a lot of work, I think, to get that out of there. You gotta pull these plastic columns off and all that crap. So not really sure what's involved in there, and in order to really do that right, the headliner needs to come out of there. It's not like a leave-in and work with it in there type crap. It needs to come the hell out. So I don't know what I'll do about that, but that wire's crap. I'm not gonna have that. But anyway, I like those. Those sound pretty good. I got the amps tuned in a little better. I got them a little more juice running to them. I think the other day I kind of gave you guys an idea of how to figure this. I know the box says 2500 watts. No, I don't think it's quite right, guys. I think if you take these two 25 amp fuses, put them together, you have 50 amps, or you take 25 times the two fuses, you have 50, and then you measure it or multiply it. Damn it, if I can get it in here. Anyway, I have a voltage meter up here. You take that number, whatever you have with your fuses, whether you have one or two. If you have one fuse, you multiply it by 1. So like if you have one 30 amp fuse, you take 30 and you multiply it by 13. Or like in this case, we have 225. So we'll go 25 times 2 to get our 50. Then we'll take our 50 and multiply it by 13. And whatever you get to that, I do believe it's the product. The product of that will tell you what you're going to be pushing out through speakers. Really, I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm not 100%. I can't swear to that. Somebody might be able to prove me wrong somehow, but I don't think so, guys. I think that's about spot on. So if you're looking at amps and that's what you're thinking, there you go. And if you guys don't have, you know, a cap that tells you your voltage output, or, you know, a little doohickey like that, you can use your multimeter. Do it right on your battery, I guess. You could run a positive and a negative to where you'd like to hook your amp up, and then check it with a multimeter there. That might give you a little more accurate idea. I think your vehicle needs to be running, so that way you have the voltage from the alternator. If it's not running, then I think you're just going to have 12 volts, because that's pretty much the output of your battery. I mean, it may give or take a few points, but I don't think it's going to be much more over 12. So you need to have your vehicle running, of course, and get your measurement from there. So that way you have the output of the alternator, guys. But this amp's they've done good for me so far, and the adjoining subwoofers that go with it have suited me real well. I get a good solid sound out of them. The Q-Bomb box has served me well. I don't leave the Q-Bomb box stock. I seal the inside of it up. I'll put some insulation in there, and when I say insulation, oh hell, I forget the name of it, but it's pretty much just like that wool stuff, like that white fluffy stuff that's in your pillows, pretty much the same sort. And I'll put it in this box to insulate it, but that may not be right for everybody as well, depending on your box, whether it's ported, non-ported, your subwoofer. So there's a lot to factor in there. And in my particular case, what I wanted to do, what I thought was best, and it got the sound that I wanted to achieve, was to go with the polyfill. That's what it's called, polyfill. Is to go with the polyfill. And when I do that, you guys will get to see, because I'll probably do the same to the other box. That way my sounds match. I'll have the same sound out of both boxes. But that's what we're looking at, guys. That's what I'm plotting on. I got to give it up for the night. My dog, he's out here whining. He wants back in. There is just a tad bit of drizzle for shizzle. And this dog hates water so bad, he's whining already and wants in. So we're going to let Zero in the house, and I'm going to go in with him. We're going to box this up, and we're going to call it good for the night, guys. But that's what I'm planning on. And I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of this stuff is like sneak peeks and little clips of this and that. But like I said, it's still early. And a lot of this stuff is just the planning stages. The projects come in between the planning. And a lot of it is acquiring the resources needed to get things done that I want to get done, and then finding the time and the opportunity to actually do them. But this is going to take a bit of planning and plotting, a little more of accurate measurements, and time to sit and think and plot and put everything together. But I'm acquiring the materials, like the amps here. These are all here. The caps and the batteries will come. The new box and speakers will be here shortly. So it's just a matter of getting this worked out, guys. Really, just piece by piece. So that way, when it is warm and we're ready to go, I got all the boom and it's all there, all ready for us. But I'm calling it good for the night, guys. I'm getting off here. We got more clips coming up soon. I may actually dig into this a little more. I got a bag of these goodies I still haven't been able to get to because of the bad weather. All that's to come. The dome light back here, that's my work light that you see. But the dome light back here, we got to get that going. The backup camera's in there. We need to get that fixed and get that functioning again. All that stuff, guys. So it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up. So make sure you stay tuned. I want to thank everybody for watching the clips, staying tuned in. My terrible episodes of me being sick, not being able to talk. I'm taking the time to thank everybody because I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys really was going to make this channel. And like I said before, the show is just beginning. It hasn't even begun yet.
We stand out like bird shit on a black shoe.